Yee! Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Tiffany here, and I'm the owner of Tiffany Gordon Cosplay LLC, which is a company that focuses on costume and prop fabrication, as well as education, and I'd love to have you as part of our cosplay building community, so subscribe to the channel. On this cosplay tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to make your very own electro mask, specifically the electro one. So let's begin. And here are all of the tools and materials you will need for making your own mask, including the 2 and 4mm HG foam, and I'll have links to all of these in the video description, as well as the pattern that we will be using throughout this tutorial is available on my website, TiffanyGordonCosplay.com, again, link in the description. And to first start off, we're going to talk about the mask portion, and this on the template is parts A through D. You'll want to trace them onto 4mm HG foam, heat treat the foam with a heat gun, and then you're going to cut out each of the pieces using an X-Acto knife. And for assembling, you're going to want to use contact cement glue. You'll apply it to all of the edges, wait for the glue to fully dry, and then start to connect the pieces. And I found it easiest to start by connecting each of the pieces at the top, so connecting A to B and C to D, and then connecting those two parts together in the center, so B to C, to complete your mask part. Now for the face detail, and for this you're going to want to trace the electro symbol onto 2mm HG foam. Again, you're going to want to heat treat the foam before cutting it out with an X-Acto knife. And for knowing the placement of where we're going to attach the electro symbol onto the mask, I got my paper template, put it on top of the 4mm foam, and then I put little black tick marks on all of the points, so I had a general idea of where the piece was going to lay. And then to get a more precise location, using those guidelines, I was able to put my electro piece on top, and I taped it down temporarily so I could trace out where it actually laid. And this was a good indication of where I was going to need to apply my contact cement glue to both the mask and the backside of the electro symbol. And after waiting for the glue to fully dry, I could then attach the two pieces together. The last step for this part of the mask is that you will want to round all of the edges. And for this, I went to my sanding station, got my Dremel and my sanding drum, and rounded out all of the edges so they weren't sharp. Now let's talk about the lightning bolts coming out of the mask. And I'll say this is the hardest part about this mask, but it's not difficult. And as part of my pattern, I call these parts the large horn and the top/bottom horn. And you'll want to trace all of these parts onto 4mm HG foam, as well as you will want to mirror all of these pieces. And as a reminder, remember to label every single part on this pattern, as well as there are little lines on these electric parts. Make sure to have those as well, because they're going to be very important in just a sec. Then just heat treat your foam and cut out the pieces using an X-Acto knife. Now for the kind of difficult part, and this is going to be where all of those lines that we drew, those are going to be guidelines for what we're going to do. And you're going to want an extremely sharp blade on your X-Acto knife, and for those guidelines you're going to want to cut at a 45 going down each of those lines. And then we're going to rotate, and we're going to cut the same way, the opposite way down each of those lines. This will make it where you have a triangle-like piece that you will be able to remove, and it'll make it so you can fold all of your pieces into the correct shape that we want. And for doing this technique, you are not piercing 100% through the foam, you're only going halfway down. So I recommend, if you have not done this yet, to try it on a practice piece first, so that way you can get an idea of how much you should be cutting into the foam. Now for a little bit of sanding, and we're going to be wanting to sand on these electro parts all of the numbered sections. So on the large ones, this will be parts 1 through 4, and then on the small one, this is going to be parts 5. And we're going to use our sanding drum to sand those edges at a 45. That way when we bend our foam to the shape, they will hit flush. Now for some gluing, and on all of those numbered parts, we're now going to apply our contact cement glue to each of those parts. Let the glue fully dry, and then we will start to attach them. And I recommend attaching them starting at the inside part and working your way to the tip. Congratulations! Now you have some really cool shapes, but we want to make them even better. And at this point, you'll notice the bottom doesn't actually lay flat anymore. And so what we want to do is get our sanding drum and sand all of the bottom section so that way the foam will lay perpendicular to the table. And then once again, we're going to apply our contact cement glue to the back of our new shapes, as well as to the top portion of our straight cutout pieces of 4mm foam, and then wait for the glue to dry and attach them. By gluing these shapes to a bottom piece, it's gonna make it so our shapes stay in the correct thickness that we want and don't squish over time into a flat piece. Then back to your sanding station for a tiny bit of cleanup, and just where we attach the two pieces together, I just went over with the sanding drum real quickly and it just made it so they all were nice and flush. For attaching them, they are a little bit funky in their positions, so I did put my paper template back on top and then did some marks with my Sharpie to indicate where all of the pieces would lay. And then again, contact cement glue, wait for it to dry, and attach it together to complete your fabrication part of the electrohelitral mask. Now for painting! And here are all the tools and materials I used for painting my mask. And as a reminder, you don't have to airbrush paint it, you can always paint it by hand with acrylic paints. The first step for this is we're going to need to prime our foam. And for this, I'm going to be using Plastidip, applying it in 3 heavy coats onto both the front and the back of the mask. You will want to wait 1 hour in between each coat to let it fully dry, and then we can go to painting. And for the paint that we're going to be using, it was provided by Createx Colors, as well as the airbrush gun we're going to be using was provided by Iwata Airbrush. Starting off with a simple base coat onto the foam, and this I'm going to be using Wicked Cream. And the purple color we're going to be using is Dioxine Purple, and I'll let you know that this color, when you apply it, it is going to dry darker, so you may want to apply this a little bit lighter. Once that coat is done, you will want to mask off all of our now purple sections, and for this we're going to be using masking tape, and so that way our paint doesn't come off with the tape when we remove it later. You'll want to get your tape, put it onto your leg, and then remove it, and then put it onto your piece. This will ensure that the tape is still tacky enough to sit on the surface, but it's not strong enough that it will ruin your paint job and peel off the paint or the Plastidip. Next, we're going to be using Wicked White. We're going to be applying this to all of the electric bolt pieces coming out, as well as the electro symbol in the center, and this will make it so all the purple color goes away and it's just an even starting base for everything. The next color we're going to be using is a mixture of Hansa Yellow and Golden Yellow, and I applied this to basically the rest of the mask. Once that paint is dry, you can then remove all of your masking tape, and then you can do some detail painting. And for me, I went back with the Dioxine Purple, and on the top and the bottom small lightning bolts, they have basically nose holes. And for these, they're actually supposed to be the purple color. So I went back by hand with a paintbrush and the airbrush paint and just painted in that section. And to add just a little bit more detail, technically this electrohelitral mask has extra lines on the lightning bolts. And for this, I kind of did a guideline with pencil beforehand to kind of know where I wanted to place these lines. And then with some masking tape that I cut into small strips with an X-Acto knife, I taped off these sections. And then with a mixture of Hansa Yellow and brown, I painted these stripes by hand with a paintbrush. Now, because we are painting it by hand and it is airbrush paint, you will most likely want to do 2 coats of paint on this. Then just remove all of your masking tape when the paint is dry, and it is time to do the very last step in completing this mask, and that is going to be to seal it. And for this, we're going to be using Createx Colors UVLS Satin, applying it in a nice even coat onto both the top and the bottom portion of the mask to complete it. Wow! And that, guys, is how to make your very own helitral mask. from Genshin Impact, specifically Electro one. And I hope you found this video helpful, and if so, I'd love to hear from you, so leave me a comment below, as well as don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And a big thank you to all of my company sponsors here on YouTube, as well as all of my YouTube members who financially help to support me so I can continue bringing you more cosplay tutorials. And I will see you for our next one. Much love, guys!